people fly in from all over the world for our Platinum Mastermind in Fiji, which is like 6 nights long, okay? Massive conference, and that was awesome. Who was at Platinum, by the way? Yeah, okay. Was that not awesome or what? It was, right? Yeah. And we've got an even bigger conference coming up in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, which I just got back from. I was just there for 2 weeks choosing the resort. But here's why I'm telling you all of this. It's not, you know, it's not like about me to tell you, oh, look at me and how good I am. I'm telling you this because it wasn't that long ago that I was sitting where you are right now and wanting the same thing and probably having a lot of these same thoughts that you're having right now. A lot of the same questions, perhaps some of the same doubts. And what separates me and you is really not that much at all. I'm not a whole lot smarter than you. It's really just a series of, I found something that worked. I found the right people to learn from. I found the right vehicle. I got a little bit of momentum, and then I kept it going. That's the biggest thing you need to understand. As soon as you get some momentum in this industry, here's what most people do. They have their first $10,000 a month or their first $50,000 a month, and they think, great, I've made it. And they go and buy a Porsche, they go and buy a Ferrari. And before they know it, they're back to where they were, okay? I didn't do any of that. As soon as I started making decent money, I didn't spend a cent of it. I saved it all. I still drive a car that's worth about $1,500. I still fly economy whenever I fly around. Like I'm very frugal. But even back then, when I first started having those results, I thought, let's not like think, hey, I made it. Let's keep this momentum going. And there was a little bit of fear of losing that momentum. So that's why I kept it going. And you can't see these numbers very well, but that's what happened. In a 14-month period, 700 to well over 300,000 in revenue. It's possible. Now, how do we make that your reality? How do we get you on the right track to going down that path? I want to do a session now where we teach you the basics. It's funny, I'm at the reception last night and a lady comes up to me and she's telling me she's been doing this for like 3 weeks and she's really, really confused. She's getting like 40 emails per day. She doesn't know, what to do, what not to do, where to turn, and it's just very confusing. This business is actually quite simple. We overcomplicate it though. Okay, we get that much information thrown at us that we can't recognize what's important and what's not. But it's actually quite simple. There's a few fundamental things that you need to do to get results, and if you do them, you will get results. Okay? Very first thing, it all starts inside of your head. Who here, you guys are getting into internet marketing, but who here is currently working in a job? Okay, all right, so quite a few of you. Who here is like full-time in your business? All right, so it's roughly like 70% of you are in jobs and 30% of you are pretty much full-time. After seeing thousands of people come through our training, one of the biggest challenges is how do they make the transition from employee into business owner? Because they require very different ways of thinking. Okay, T. Harv Eker, I don't know if you guys know who that is, but he wrote a book called The Millionaire Mind, and he talked about the differences between business owners who do very well, become wealthy, become rich, and the masses who never really do that well with money. And I want to read some of these out because I think this sums it up perfectly. The poor and middle class, they believe that life happens to me. Okay, I can't control what's going on. People who do well financially, they believe I create my life. That is like the most important thing. Whether you believe life happens to you or you are in control and you create your own circumstances. If you believe that the amount of money in your bank account is due to someone else, your job, the economy, you're never going to get wealthy. Okay? Until you accept absolute full responsibility for where you are financially, you will not get wealthy. So even when I didn't have a lot of money, because I'd spent it all on internet marketing, I still accepted full responsibility. Not in the beginning. In the very beginning, when I spent that $40,000, I went through like a period of maybe 6 months where I blamed the guy that I'd given that money to. I thought, that bastard, he never helps me. I sent him all that money. And I was blaming him for like a long time. But then I realized it's not him, it's all me. Okay, you have to accept that. The poor and middle class, they want to be rich. Everyone wants to be rich. That's why they buy lottery tickets. The people who do well, they are committed to being rich. There's a big, big difference. I come from a family of people who belong on the left side, okay? They think very much like that. Buy lottery tickets, etc. Okay? When the family that you were brought up in, I mean, that really conditions you, and those of us who were brought up with those beliefs, we have to snap out of them, okay? And that can be a real challenge. But you have to examine the way that you think, your own thoughts, and look at, am I in the poor and middle class, or am I thinking like someone who's going to do very well? They are poor receivers, okay? Have you ever noticed that some people, when you give them money or you give them something, they're almost uncomfortable getting it? They're like, oh no, that's too much. That's too much. Here, have some back. If you want to get wealthy, you've got to get very comfortable with receiving. Okay, you've got to get comfortable with accepting money. So if people want to pay you, you accept it, zero guilt. Okay? But it's worth looking at these two different ways of thinking because this underlays everything. Choosing the right people to learn from. Here's the deal. When you get started in this industry, you know a certain number of things. Okay, there's a little area, a little circle of what you know. So you might know how to send an email. You might know how to set up a lead capture page. But then there's a bigger area, okay? And you're aware of that. You're aware of those things, but you don't really know about them. You've heard of something called CPA marketing, cost per action marketing. You've heard of that. Or you've heard of SEO. search engine optimization, but you wouldn't know how to go and do it. So that's the area that you don't know about. But then there's this much, much bigger area of what you don't know, okay? That's where a mentor comes into play, okay? That's the area that you're not even aware you don't know about, okay? Because a good mentor, they've been there before you. A good mentor, they've actually gone down the path that you're about to go down, and they know that all the challenges that you're about to face, they've gone through them and they know how to solve them, okay? So you want to learn from people who have that, okay? They've actually done what you want to do. Now, let's begin. All right, so the first bit of cash that I want to give out, I want to ask you a question. And if you get this next thing, if you understand what I'm about to tell you, you fully understand it, then I'll consider, you can consider that whatever you invested to be here is a very, very good investment. If you get just this one lesson, this is the most important lesson in marketing, okay? What is, if we are going to sell online to the masses, what is the one thing that we need before anything else? And before you answer, let me pose this to you a different way. Here's my challenge. I'm going to give you the best copywriters in the world, people who write sales letters, charge over $100,000 to write a single sales letter. They are that good. They are that good. And you have the 5 best in the world at your disposal. On top of that, I'll give you the top 5 phone sales closers. Okay, these people can sell ice to an Eskimo. They are that good on the phone. And you have those 5 people. So you have this team of 10 people at your disposal, and pretty much anything else that you want. Yet if you give me just one thing, and one thing only, I'm going to outsell you every time. $20. What is it? Put up your hand. Hand first, and then I'll pick you. No. No. Nope. You? No. You, David? Nope. Almost. No, no product. Nope. Nope. No. No, no, no. No. You're getting warmer. Getting warm. Give me one thing and I'll outsell you every time. Does anyone know? What is the one thing? What is the one thing that if I have, I'm going to outsell you every time, whatever you want to have? You can have the copywriters, the phone salespeople. No, I'm looking for, come on, 2 words. I'll tell you. I'll tell you what it is. Don't worry, there'll be plenty of opportunity. It is this. If you give me this one thing, I'm going to outsell you every single time. It's a starving crowd. Okay? If I have a starving crowd who actually wants to buy what I'm selling, I will outsell you every time. It doesn't matter if you have the best copywriters or the best marketers at your disposal working for you 24/7. It doesn't matter. If I have this, I'm going to outsell you every time. Let's take this literally. I want you to imagine this scenario, okay? Tonight, we have a dinner, like a party. Do you guys all know about that? I'll tell you, from 7 to 11 p.m. It's a private mastermind dinner. And later on today, I'll tell you how you can get invited. Make sure you leave tonight free. Those of you who are local, make sure you stick around. But from 7 to 11 p.m. in a room nearby, I'll be paying for your dinner if you're invited, okay? Again, I'll tell you later on how you can get invited. So you're going to have a feast and you're going to eat a lot of good food. Let's pretend that after this session tonight, you've had this big, big meal, and I bring you back in this room. You all have a seat, and then in front of me I have a table, and on this table there's the finest gourmet food. I mean, there's lobster, whatever you can imagine, like really, really nice food. And I stand up here on stage and I start pitching you this food, telling you, hey, you should really buy this food. And I even offer it for half price, telling you it's really good food. you've all just eaten, you're all full, so I might get a few sales. Okay, I might get a few sales. Let's imagine another scenario though. Let's imagine that next door we have the exact same size crowd next door, about 100 people. And for this experiment, I've been a little bit cruel. I put a chain and lock on the door, and I kept them in there for 5 days without food. But I gave them water. Okay, I gave them water, but by this point, they are so hungry, they're starting to look at each other. Okay, they are literally starving. So I pitch you guys the lobster, and I get maybe, whatever, like a few sales. But then I go next door, and I'm offering them McDonald's. But it's like, this is McDonald's after 171 days. That's a Happy Meal. It doesn't decompose. There's so many preservatives in it. Let's say this McDonald's is like almost 200 days old. It is disgusting. A homeless person would not want to touch this. And I have this big table of like 200-day-old McDonald's. I go in that room, and I stand up there on stage, and I give you guys a big like 1-hour pitch for this finest gourmet food at half price. I go in that room, and I practically say, I got McDonald's, and I'm going to charge you 10 times what you would normally pay for it. Who wants it? I'm going to have a stampede in that room. They're going to rush at me so fast with their money because they want what I'm offering. Do you see the difference? I want you to understand this lesson. It's not about the product. Everyone thinks it's all about the product. It's about the audience. I could be selling garbage like 200-day-old McDonald's, but if I'm selling to the right audience, I'll outsell any other room who's selling to the wrong audience. It all begins with the market, the audience that you're selling to. That is where everything begins. And the way that like I've been in marketing for a little while, and you guys have probably experienced this. When you tell people what you do, and they say, you know, what are you doing? You say, oh, I'm in internet marketing. And they say, oh, yeah, like I want to learn how to do that. I mean, I've got this great idea for a product. If I could just find out how to market it, I'd be making a lot of money. That's how you recognize someone who they don't quite get it. They've got a lot to learn. It's not about the product. It's all about the market, the audience. Again, the product is less important than you might think. It's all about the audience. The reason why I want you to get this is because if you're going to try and make money online and sell to the masses, that's where it all must begin. You could be the greatest internet marketer in the world, but if you're trying to sell to the wrong audience, you're not going to get any sales. So this is where it all begins. Has anyone seen this before? It's from Perry Marshall, a guy he's a very good marketer. Basically, this triangle, the C stands for conversion, T for traffic, and E for economics. This is like the foundation of your business. Okay, conversion, traffic, economics. And in the middle, there's the 80-20 principle. You've all heard of that, right? 80-20? No? Yeah, all right. Most of you have. If you haven't, come and see me in the break. This is where it all begins. Okay, if you have traffic conversion and the right economics, you can make a lot of money online. And then those equations below there, they're mine. Actually, I didn't come up with them, but that's the foundation. Traffic plus conversion. Traffic is an audience. You guys all know what traffic is, right? Traffic is this room, that room of starving people after 5 days. That could also be a different traffic source. Traffic is the audience, the people who are clicking on your ads. Do not look at clicks as clicks. Look at them as people sitting behind computers all around the world. Thoughts, real lives going on in their minds. Okay, traffic plus conversions equals sales. Now, as long as our sales, our gross revenue, is greater than our expenses, what we pay to get that traffic, we're making money, we're profitable. So to get you guys here in this room costs money, right? To get those people in that room costs money. All traffic costs money. There's always a cost for traffic. But as long as what's coming in is greater than what's going out, you're making money. Okay? I know these are very basic things, but this really is this business. This is what it all boils down to. It all comes down to this. Traffic is really just eyeballs. It's getting people looking at your offer online. seeing your offer. That's all it is. They click your ad, they go to your lead capture page, they see your offer. But it's the right traffic. If there's one thing that annoys me, it doesn't really annoy me, but it just, when I see it, I realize that's a person who doesn't quite get it. Let's say you're on Facebook. Do you ever see people